Morning penguins, how are we? Hope you had a good weekend. Today is Monday, and this week we are going to continue looking at the environment, but specifically recycling and how we can help the environment by using recycling and making our planet a lot healthier. Because it's been proven that since we've all been in this lockdown, that the earth and the environment is already improving. So we can now add to this by doing our own recycling and thinking before we throw our rubbish away. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to listen to a song about recycling by Jack Hartman.
Recycle every day. Just a little goes a long way. Recycle every day. Just a little goes a long way. Recycle paper, cardboard, glass. Recycle plastic, bottles, aluminum cans. Recycle newspapers and magazines. You can do it. Recycle every day. Recycle every day. Just a little goes a long way. Recycle every day. Just a little goes a long way. Recycle paper, cardboard, glass. Recycle plastic, bottles, aluminum cans. Recycle newspapers and magazines. You can do it. Recycle every day. Recycle every day. Just a little goes a long way. Recycle every day. Just a little goes a long way.
I hope you enjoyed that. And remember all the things that you can recycle. Oh, I can't stop him. Well, I couldn't stop him. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to look at recycling today, and I'm going to give you a little task to do at the end, and you can do it in various different ways. But we'll look at that later. First of all, we're going to look at what is rubbish. What is rubbish? Well, rubbish is everything we just throw away. And it's surprising how much we throw away that can actually be recycled, reused. Okay, so sometimes rubbish can be called waste. So sometimes people say rubbish, sometimes people say waste. Okay, but it's both, it's a synonym, and because it's a different word but means the same thing. So who creates all the rubbish? Guess what? We do. We create all the rubbish, and it's really, as I said to you before, it's really harmful to the environment. We are damaging our environment because it's landing in the sea. We may be sitting on the beach having a nice lollipop. We've probably already thrown the wrapper on the floor on the sand. Then there's the stick afterwards that we probably just drop on the sand, and then the wind comes along or the sea comes in and it takes out that rubbish, and then that then pollutes the sea. And some animals get injured by it because they could choke on it, or some can smother themselves in the wrappers because they're obviously a lot tinier than we are. So that can happen as well. So we have to be mindful of what we're doing with our rubbish. think about today. How much rubbish have you thrown in the bin already? Well, I know I've put quite a bit in the bin already. They say that we, on average, throw away 1 kilogram each person a day of rubbish, which will amount over a year to as much as a polar bear weighs. If you want, ask your adult if you can get the measuring scales out and put some things on the measuring scales until you reach 1 kilogram, just to see how much it is. I was talking earlier, we were saying about all the rubbish and how it goes into the sea, and also lots of rubbish gets blown on fields where sheep and horses are, and cows grazing. And imagine if they pick up, sometimes they can pick up things, and again, it can harm them. So we have to be thoughtful, because how would you like it if where you live looked like that? Not good, is it? You wouldn't want to walk through all that, would you? Not knowing what it is. So be good. Throw away that rubbish. But before you throw away the rubbish, you need to start thinking. Because our rubbish all goes in the bin, and then it gets carried away in a dust cart by the dustman. And then after that, it can either be incinerated, and look at all that smoke polluting the air that we breathe. Look at that. Ooh, imagine breathing that in. So that's not good, is it? Or in a landfill like this, where lots and lots of rubbish is just thrown in a huge pile, probably like football ground by football ground of it. And imagine the stink and how that is affecting our environment. So that's not very good, is it? And we do that all around the world. However, we can change it, and we can make things better by reducing what goes into the air, like that incinerator. Driving cars, the fumes go up and they pollute the air that we breathe. And we can reuse things. So like if something's broken, you can make something else. I'll introduce you to my little friend, Robbie the red robot. He loves recycling. He's all made of recycling, and later on in the week I will show you how to make your own Robert the robot. And also recycling. This sign, when you see this sign, it means a recycling sign. So you might want to have a look on some of the things in the kitchen to see if they can be recycled, because if they've got this on it, it means they can be recycled. So it's a good sign. Sorry, lost my way there. Right, so first of all, we can look at reducing. So that means basically throwing less things away. So when we have our lunch, we can look at what's in our lunchbox, and can we recycle any of this? Can any of that be recycled or reused? Often people will reuse yogurt pots and things for paint pots. Also, right. Also, then after that, reuse. Is there things that we can reuse? So like I said before, when you're looking in your lunchbox, have you got like a pot that you might be able to use, or put it into a recycling bin for someone else to use? You know, jars, people reuse jars to make things like jam. I know my mum was always after my jam jar, always after my jars to make jam. So you can reuse things. Some things can be refixed. I mean, Robbie is used a kitchen roll, a cereal box, and a pizza box. So he obviously he's been reused, okay, or reused, recycled, all the same thing. So lots of these things can be, you can, like I've made Robbie, you can make paper mache things. Some people make bags or even use old bags to make something else. And then, of course, there's recycling. So if you can't reuse it, can you recycle it? Can you put it in that recycle bin so someone else can use it for different things? Some things can be plastic is shredded and turned into new plastic bottles, garden furniture, even fleece jumpers. And here we've got natural waste like rubbish from the garden, grass, cuttings, vegetable peelings and tea bags can be turned into compost. We can use it for compost, and compost is used to help our flowers and plants grow in the garden. Recycling, these are some of the things that can be recycled. So paper could be recycled to make new paper or toilet roll. A can could be recycled to be made chocolate wrapping and new drinks for food cans. And glass can be recycled to make new bottles and jars. Those things can all be recycled. Think about your lunchbox. When you have a lunchbox, in that lunchbox, what sort of things can you recycle? Think about that one. Discuss it with your adult. Right. The little thing that I would want you to do is push that back. You can see I've been painting again. Got my protective cover on my table. And I've been painting toilet rolls. And on my toilet rolls, I have the recycle sign and what can go in them, because there are going to be my recyclable bins. So you can make all these recyclable. So we've got cans, we've got paper and card, we have reusable items, so might be clothing, anything that you can reuse, like I said about the jars and things, compost. Then we have clothes. We have rubbish, because there are some rubbish that just cannot be reused, and plastic. So we got plastic, compost, clothes, glass, reusable items, paper and cards. A lot of reusable items also go to, like, you can take to charities, because a lot of charities can sell them, make money, and then they can donate it to the charities, carry on doing whatever charities. Sometimes it's animal charities, sometimes it's people, sometimes it's specific people with illnesses. Cans, and that is just our rubbish one. Okay, then what I want you to do is find all different things that we use daily. Now you can do, if you've got access to Twinkle, you can print these off. There's on Twinkle. If you haven't, you could just use catalogue or magazines just to print out some of these things. Now here I have a cinema ticket. Now what bin would that go in? Well, is it can? No, I don't think it's can. Is it plastic? No, I don't think it's plastic. What about our cardboard and paper? I think it could go in there. Fridge. Oh wow. What can we do with a fridge? It's a different colour. I've bought a new fridge. So because I didn't like the colour of the other fridge anymore, it didn't go in with my new kitchen. So what can I do with that? I guess I could put it in the reusable, maybe send it to a charity, or maybe see if sell it to someone, see if they want to use it. Eggs. What can I do with my eggs? I've finished all my eggs. These are great for compost. So I'm going to put those in my compost bin because I can then ground them down and use them to go on my flowers and my vegetable patch. This is something you all probably have in your lunch boxes. It's a yogurt pot. What can we do for that? I think we could put that in our reusable, or it could go either way really. If you didn't want to use it yourself, it would probably go into our, lost my plastic one. Oh, there it is. Into our plastic box. So what I want you to do is I want you to make up lots of different cards like these, different things. I've got plastic bottles, I've got books, glass, water, foil, apples, socks, lots of different things. And see, once you cut them up, see what ones go into what box when we're recycling. If you haven't got toilet tissue, you can always do what I do sometimes, and I make a piece of paper up, which I'll show you now. And you can have boxes like that on your paper. Just rough. You'll probably do it a lot better than me. And then you can have the same things on the top, so glass, compost, and so on. And then you can just glue your picture into the right box. So there's lots of different ways you can do that little activity if you fancy doing that and learning a lot more about recycling. As we go on, Robbie's going to join us a little bit more in the week, so he's looking forward to seeing you all during the week. Have fun doing your activity and learning more about recycling. See you tomorrow.